Yeah, sit tight and wait, Dave. It works for the players, but does it work for the team, especially in the case of Nylander? We had Bruce Boudreau on earlier in the week, and he was talking about how the family genes suggest, Michael Nylander, his dad was, in Bruce's words, a stubborn guy who was a hard sign, who was very staunch in his negotiating prowess. William's shown, some 11th hour guts, if you want to call it that, in his previous negotiation. Can a team like the Maple Leafs in the situation they're in really afford to wait this guy out?
I'm not sure they have a choice, Dave.
Okay.
I mean, now he's got his no trade clause, and, he's in a position where at least he controls some of it. And, there's different situations. You look at the DeBrincat situation, he didn't have any power at all, yet they created a sort of a power in that he wouldn't extend with the team he was traded to, if it wasn't the team that he wanted to be traded to. So he essentially they created their own market. And in terms of Michael, I laugh because how many teams did Michael play for? Did he play for 11 teams, 10 teams?
Apparently had, quite a few agents too. Quite a few different agents.
But think about it. For a guy that talented to skip through 10 or 11 teams in the NHL, it said something. And that was a time of no salary cap, and it was always that. I mean, essentially his team wasn't happy with him, or he wasn't happy with his team at that point, and he went back to a couple of places. So, and I'm not sure I would say that's the gene. I think Williams is his own guy, and he's got his own representation, and I don't think that's a factor. The biggest issue here was the 5 and 6 years for Matthews and Marner, in terms of giving them maximum dollars and not making it an 8-year deal.
Right.
I mean, that's essentially the biggest deal. And you look at it today, guys, going into next year, Matthews is still the 4th highest player in the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
Marner's the 9th highest paid player. Now, Willie comes in just under 100. Next year, he'll be the 96th highest paid player in the league. And so, because essentially he's up first, if you will, and although, it could be he or Matthews, and I get all the questions everywhere I am in the summertime. I'm on a golf course and I get the questions. Now, why wouldn't Nylander take less?
Why?
And my answer is he just took less for 4 years.
I think that's revisionist history, Dave. At the time, that deal was widely hailed as a very good deal for him.
There's no question. There's no question. But looking forward, Dave, if he's the first one to sign and they say, why won't you take a team-friendly deal? His answer is, essentially the way it played out, not the way it is, but the way it played out, I've already done that.
Yeah.
And
well, he certainly outperformed. He outperformed the deal. Yeah.
He outperformed the deal, and that's great.
Right.
Good for him, because he's put himself in a terrific position now. If he wants to be a Maple Leaf, they're going to have to make some decisions. I mean, he's going to have to make some decisions, then the team's going to have to make some decisions. And, all those contracts, when they were signed, the most unfortunate thing, Dave, was the pandemic and the fact that it froze the cap.
Right.
And you might, in another day and age, you might look at it and say, okay, those were fine deals, all of them. But the issue was the 5 and 6 years for me. You can't get maximum dollar and the shortest term available. You can't have both. You can have one or the other. But by giving them both, they let them move to their next contracts, moving to his next contract, he's still the 4th highest paid player in the league, which is remarkable. It's good agenting is what it is.
It is.
Yeah, I'm not a great fan of the team-friendly deal. I think that just compromises what a player has played himself into. And for Matthews and Nylander, for me, as much as Leaf fans don't want to hear it, these guys shouldn't be in any hurry to do anything just because you don't know what the market is next year. So, I mean, what's the motivation to come to a deal right now on their part? I don't see it.
Well, that's exactly the issue. It makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Like, a lot of people thought D-Day was going to be July 1st, like something, major had to happen, and it didn't. I mean, quite frankly, they could go through the entire year, and you're letting them tiptoe to free agency. But, there were 2 dates that stood out for me. One was September with McKinnon, and one was March with Pasternak, 2 high-profile, potential unrestricted free agents who signed very lucrative deals well past July 1st. And there's no reason that these 2 guys won't do the same thing. But it's just funny, the back and forth. For me, Jimmy, the funny back and forth is across the locker room. it's almost a chess game with Nylander and Matthews to see, how this is going to play out and who essentially is going to go first. Like, why does that have to be Nylander going first? They're both in the same position. So, it is. And I think, I wouldn't say we really have a great feel for the personality of Auston Matthews in comparison. I think we think we know Nylander a little better, like free spirit and laissez-faire and nothing bothers him. And we don't really know that about Matthews because we haven't come to this point with him before, but we'll find out.